Incredibles 2 just hit theaters, and it delivers a great sequel for a beloved classic. Although in my opinion it never really reached the height that the original did, it's far from Cars 2. Don't worry, there won't be any spoilers for Incredibles 2 inside this video. It will only dive into the information revealed in the trailers. So the sequel takes place directly after the first film, like literally the moment after. The Underminer is the first foe that the family encounter, but he definitely isn't the big bad of the movie. That reign is taken by Screenslaver, who, like the name implies, hypnotizes people in order for them to do his will. This is all happening when Elastigirl is working with a company to help regain the trust from the public and help make supers legal again. But I guess this wasn't originally the plot that Brad Bird pitched to Pixar. The original idea that was greenlit by Pixar had a very different story. And I guess the villain changed completely throughout the production and the story was altered. Brad Bird said he focused more on the family dynamic and that Bob and Helen's role reversal. That was his first idea for the sequel and it stayed put. Jack's storyline stayed in there as well, but other than that, a lot changed from the original idea. So what was that original idea? Well, pretty much Screenslaver wasn't the primary antagonist, and Brad Bird was much more interested in using some sort of artificial intelligence rather than using Screenslaver. The Incredibles has kind of been some sort of allegory for everyday issues. I believe that this AI idea would have been an extension of the same issue. Probably the introduction of AI into our world would make us dependent on them and make us slaves essentially to our own creations, similar to the Screen idea, but just a different context. It was likely cut from the film because AI overthrowing the world has been done to death, and commenting on our screens is very topical today. But I guess Brad Bird had a second idea, and this one I love. When he was throwing around other ideas when considering scrapping the AI plot, he came up with the idea of having the supers being brought back into the light as much more of a show business and performing and almost making them like they were on a game show. This is very interesting. It's commenting on today's own obsession with superhero films, and it would essentially flip the genre on its head and have room for a much more clever plot. It would have been nice to see one of the first ultra successful superhero films that really ushered in the era of superheroes, commenting on what the genre has turned into. It could also be very topical, looking into today's news and fake news. It would fit right into the social media generation we are in. That perception of public on yourself through a screen without actually knowing someone is something we deal with every day. But we end up getting a mixture of kind of the two plots. Well, Bob Odenkirk's Winston Deaver is trying to bring those superheroes back into the limelight via telecommunications. The reason that they decided to go with this plot is because they determined both plots didn't have enough tension put on the family, and the stakes weren't high enough. With the Screenslaver and controlling the public, there was much more tension put on the family, especially later on to the movie. Unfortunately, Screenslaver was a late addition, and in my opinion, it kind of feels like it. Although I like the idea of this villain, it doesn't seem fully realized, and it seems like the plot is more focused on the family dynamic anyways. Which is fine by me. That's my favorite part of The Incredibles. It's just with the original, Syndrome was such an amazing villain. This kind of seems like a step down. Nonetheless, we got a great sequel from Brad Bird and the Pixar team, but it's also interesting to think of what could have been. So what do you think? Do you like AI being included? Or are you like me and you like the idea of the superheroes and being a show business kind of sense and performing constantly? Let me know in the comments below. As always, thank you so much for watching. Thanks to my patrons, Adam Gray, Jeremy Jacobs, Jenny Edwards, Jeremy Robson, Gabe Marchanda, Trevor Cowan, Gunnar Legland, Sam Leon, Colleen West, and Jared Galifa. Thank you so much for your support, guys. As always, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.